Okay, so I'm just going to do a summary here of these pages in the text. So he uses the example and he's going to use the linear model, and he uses the linear model just so you can get an idea on how much each one of these variables contribute to the outcome, and in this case the outcome is happiness. So we've got a control group, 15 minutes and 30 minutes. And then we've got our hypothesis or our predictions here that any puppy therapy is different than a control. And then is there a difference between the 15 and 30 minutes? So again, you've seen this table in the previous slide where we were looking at the means between the control, the 15 and the 30 minutes. And this would be our linear model, right? So we're predicting happiness. Happiness is based on whether or not they got therapy and whether they got 15 minutes or 30 minutes. So this would be the 15, this would be the 30 minutes. So if we play this out and we just look at the control group, B1 and B2 is the 30 minutes and the 15 minutes. Well, we're going to cancel those out, and so we just look at the control. And so the control is the intercept value when everything else is 0. So what is the happiness when you don't have therapy? Okay, if we go to the 30-minute group, okay, so here we've got our control, here we've got our 30 minutes, and here we've got a 0 for the short. So in those notes, he talks about how you can code these variables. So here we're coding 1 as the 30-minute and a 0 as the 15 minutes. So anytime you add a 0 into your multiplication here, it becomes a 0. So again, we're predicting happiness. We've got 30 minutes in control, and so we want to know what this beta coefficient is when we have control taken out of the 30 minutes. And this will make a little bit of sense, so just hang on as we go through this slide. And then we've got the 15 minutes, and in this case the 30 minutes is coded as 0 and the 15 minutes is coded as 1. Plug these values in and it's going to give you a coefficient for the 15 minute. So you're subtracting out the control. So all of that, so this slide, and this slide are how the beta coefficients or the values to establish whether there are differences in means is happening in the background of the analysis. So when you run the regression, you get a couple of tables. Okay, you get the ANOVA table, and this significance value here tells us that using the group means to predict happiness scores is significantly better than using the means of all of the scores. All right, so in other words, we're going to look at each particular group, and it's telling us there's a significant difference in those groups. And then when you go down here to your coefficients, so again, this is your linear model. It's comparing your 30 minutes to your control, and there's a significant difference in happiness between 30 minutes and control. When it compared 15 minutes in control, there is not a significant difference between 15 minutes and the control. So if you are wanting to be happy, you should spend 30 minutes with a puppy, because 15 minutes is not going to be long enough.